Hi everybody, I'm Dr.Animaction. I just wanted to take the opportunity to throw together a little video to talk about kind of where the channel's been and where it's going in the near future.
Don't know where she's going and I don't know where she's been.
Or not near future, depending on how long it takes me to do some of the things that I'm going to be talking about. So this is going to be just kind of a state of the channel video that looks at how things are going and makes some announcements about some things that are coming up and things like that.
They're setting up cutaways.
I'd love to hear your thoughts about whatever I say while we're talking here, which I'm doing kind of off the cuff, so who knows what that's going to be, down in the comments below.
What happened to then?
We passed that.
When?
Just now.
First of all, I'd just like to thank everybody that's been a long-time subscriber, because I appreciate you sticking with me through the slow periods when I was adjusting to new jobs or other real-life events that kept me from making content. So thanks for that. I truly appreciate it.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
And to those of you who are new subscribers, which there were quite a few after this last video with the Cobra Officer and Trooper, welcome. I appreciate you being here as well, especially since this pushed me up to a new milestone as I passed the 2,500 sub mark. So absolutely thanks to all of you. But enough looking at what has been, and instead let's look at what is going to be.
Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now.
So first of all, I'm definitely going to keep going with my standard series that I have right now, which is the Personnel Office, the Deep Dives, the Rankings and Top 10, Top 5 type videos, and my various retrospectives. I'll probably start trying to get a few more of the cartoonical analysis out here and there when I'm able to, kind of like the G.I. Joe Mass Effect
Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
one that I did, which if you haven't seen, I totally recommend.
Totally.
And I also want to try to do some more of the randomated thoughts, which are the videos where I just find a topic of interest and talk about it randomly. So I'll just kind of be interspersing all of those here and there. I want to make Personnel Office and Deep Dive recurring, so I plan on getting at least one of each of those out a month.
I've heard that before.
And I'm going to be getting back into the retros, with the 90s in film currently being worked on and hopefully being out within the next several weeks. No promises about when. And then moving on to my next retro, which is going to be Filmation. If I can manage a studio retro and a decade retro at the same time, then you'll see Funimation interspersed with the animated 70s. I'm pretty much dedicating all of my time that I'm not working real-life jobs to Dr. Animaction stuff from this point forward, so that's the goal.
Yeah, that's just not realistic, dude.
As for other things that I have coming up, plan on doing the second episode of Dr. Animaction Live.
How long's it been? 3-4 months?
10 years.
Next Friday. I was going to do it tomorrow, but it seems like fairly short notice. So next Friday, I'm going to do the second part of ranking all of the 80s cartoons in Dr. Animaction Live. I'll post a community post about the times and everything here shortly. Next, as far as the Personnel Office goes, I've decided to include all of the drivers from 1982 in a single video. There's not really much differentiating them from each other from an equipment and training perspective, so I'll do them all in a single video, and then we'll move on to 1983, which I am very much looking forward to. Look for a deep dive to come out this weekend that's going to be focused on a show that was a special request, and I'll be reaching out to my Discord mods to get their opinions for the next episode of Dr. Animaction and Friends, which was that ranking that I did over Christmas. As far as the other rankings I have planned, similar to the Masks ranking that I did a week or two ago, I have a whole laundry list, so plenty of topics there to keep me going for quite a while. And lastly,
we must move forward, not backward, upward, not forward, and always twirling.
I am working on a new series of short videos that I'm going to be calling the War Games, because analysis seems to be one of the areas that you all like best about my channel. So for the War Games, I have several scenarios that I'm going to be doing, and they're going to be pitting various components of different animated series up against each other in different types of confrontations. I'm going to be randomly generating the brackets for these based on teams that I'm assigning for each one, and I'm going to be randomly generating what the location and landscape of that battle is going to be. So if you've ever played the card game Super Fight, kind of like that with 80s and 90s animated series, or more. We'll see who else I include in there. So the first one of those that I'm going to be working on is going to be a squad battle between teams from the various cartoons consisting of military or law enforcement personnel. So watch for the introductory video to that, hopefully sometime this upcoming week. The other thing that I've got in the works, or kind of on my mind, is moving forward with making Dr.Animaction Live a bi-weekly event. So I'm thinking of doing interactive rankings every couple weeks.
He's got high apple pie in the sky.
If any of you guys would be up for that, let me know. It would probably be a Friday evening thing, but I can be kind of flexible on that depending on the feedback. So those are the plans. That's where I see the channel heading, and that's where I'm going to be putting my effort. I've also been working on a bunch of new designs for my 80s and 90s themed stuff in my Etsy store, so there's plenty of new things to look at, especially for the G.I. Joe fans out there. And I've got a couple other things in the works that aren't Dr. Animaction, well, not directly Dr. Animaction related as well. Maybe I'll talk about those at some later point. Oh, and lastly, I think I'm going to try to get back into the streaming that I was doing for the single-player board games here shortly. If any of you were watching those or interested in watching those, hopefully I can start doing one every other week. I don't think it'll be a weekly thing necessarily anymore, at least not to start out with. But those are pretty fun and kind of cool, and we'll see what I can do with them. But honestly, that's about it for this video. If any of you have any feedback about the channel, any thoughts about the content, any opinions on where I'm going with things, then by all means let me know in the comments, and check back this weekend for that new entry in the deep dives. Once again, thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned, and stay tuned, as in cartoons. Later.